Hey there, Todd Falcone. Wanted to share a quick tip with you. And this is a lesson. This is probably one of the worst mistakes I've ever made in the 25 plus years that I've been involved in network marketing. And I made that mistake, fortunately, very, very early on in my network marketing career. And not that I've never repeated it, but it was such a big lesson that the frequency of times that I repeated it over the years was pretty minimal. So I just want to do this video to help you guys out because it's such an important lesson and something to remember, and certainly something that if you do learn from this this video tutorial, this little lesson I'm giving you, that you'll end up making more money and you'll be creating more successes as a result of it. Here's the deal: when any network marketing company, regardless of whether it's a binary, a unilevel combination of those things, or whatever, it doesn't matter what the compensation plan is. In order for you to maximize your pay, your potential within that compensation structure, you typically have to sponsor more than one person. What's that number to max out the compensation plan? It varies. It could be 4, 6, 10, 12, 15. I don't know. It depends. But regardless, you have to sponsor more than one person. You can't just sponsor one person and you're going to rise through every rank in that compensation plan, and every pin level and every advancement and pay and all of that. You have to sponsor more than one person. So knowing that, we go sponsor somebody into the business and we get somebody going. Now I got to go sponsor somebody else. So that's okay. I got this little well pumping over here. Time to go get this other well pumping. Now here's the mistake that I made, and this is with two guys. One of them was my friend Tom, who was actually one of the very few warm market people very, very early on in my network marketing career that I actually sponsored, who showed up and actually did something significant with the business. So I sponsored Tom. Tom's showing up for meetings. He's bringing people. He's in the office. He's active. He's very, very engaged. This is the kind of guy that you're looking for. So I got Tom pumping. So now I got Tom pumping. I'm going to go get somebody else. So I ended up sponsoring this guy, Rob. And I'll just call Rob the whiner, because that's basically all Rob did, was he whined. Oh, the product was late. Oh, this didn't work. I was on hold with customer service. I mean, all he did was complain, complain, complain. So, but here I got, in order for me to max out the comp plan, I got Tom over here pumping. Gosh, I got to get Rob going. I got to get Rob going. I got to get this guy going. And ultimately, what ended up happening is I paid attention to the wrong person. There's an age-old phrase. I've used it tons of times. I didn't make it up, but it's highly accurate, and that's work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. So if we're looking at team building, and the biggest mistake here that I made was I was working with Rob the whiner rather than Tom the producer. So unfortunately, Tom over time fizzled out because he was there, but he just, I wasn't there to support him. And then it comes down to like, well, who do we work with, right? So I got this person, and when do I let go, or what do I do with them? The best phrase I can give you is just work with your people. The people that are working, work with your people. The people that are coming up with the reasons, the excuses, the this or the that, those are people that deserve your time. Just because they gave the company money and they have a distributor ID number, that's awesome. But through their actions, with the other phrase, another cliche phrase, actions speak louder than words, absolutely true. It's like, okay, well, I say I want to do something, but what are you actually doing about doing something? So the reason I want to do this video is everybody's out there looking to build as big of a team as possible, and it's like, well, how do I go about doing that? I had a conversation. I was at a big national conference this weekend with about 10,000 people, and I had this pretty lengthy team building conversation that took place, and about how do I manage who I continue working with, and when do I move on, and I don't want this one to peter out while I've got this one going. And I think this is a really good philosophy. Again, is work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. Deserved meaning the person that's showing up, the person that's taking action, the person that's engaged in the business, that's coming up with the reasons to do rather than not to do. And I think the cream kind of rises to the top. So you got to be watching it. And and the other part of this, I'll say this is, I'm going to advance. I know this is a little bit longer video, but this is a really, really important message, this part right here. no matter how big your group gets, okay? So I'm going to skip ahead to just, this is part of the team building aspect of things, but you got to be thinking long term. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to grow an organization. As you grow that organization, you're going to have some people that become very independent. So let's take Tom, for example. Let's say Tom did become, he ended up dropping out, unfortunately, but let's say Tom became highly independent, was making $20,000, $30,000 a month, and had his own team calls, his own Super Saturday events, his own stuff going on, and I mean, he doesn't need me anymore. I mean, he's graduated and gone through graduate school, and he's well on his way. He's on his own. And then over here, I'm doing some other stuff. I talk to Tom. I don't even have to talk to Tom anymore because Tom's independent. Big mistake. Big, 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 huge, gigantic, monstrous mistake. No matter how independent somebody gets, no matter how successful that person becomes, that they're so self-sufficient, they don't have to use you for a three-way call, nothing. They're like, in fact, maybe they passed you in earnings. They doubled you in earnings. You never lose contact with those people. So make it a habit that no matter how independent your frontline personally sponsored leaders are, or your key leaders that are in your organization, that you maintain consistent contact with them, because here's the thing, sometimes stuff happens, okay? And it could be, if you let, and I've had this happen, you let too much time go between contact, something goes awry, something goes weird, all of a sudden this person's spinning out of control, this person who's independent and cranking and doing all these great things, all of a sudden starts to take a dive. And now by the time you finally get back to that person, get back in touch with them, they're so far in that tailspin and that dive that sometimes they can't recover. It's like this, it's like watching your garden, okay? If you have a garden and weeds start to come up, you got to go pick the weeds, okay? And you got to be tending to your garden at all times, no matter how productive that garden is. Yeah, I know this is one of my longer videos, but these are some very, very powerful tips in team building and leading an organization that will help you make money. We'll see you on another video soon. Have a good day.